So I did say that my next video I would be swatching these beautiful paints out. Now I'm going to work on the Inktense, even though I'm more curious about the Graphitint. We'll get the Inktense out of the way. Now I have loaded the brush from the Graphitint set, Words. It's just a mini little brush, but it seems like it's okay, so I filled it with water. The only thing is, the lid does not fit on the back, which I don't like because I lose lids when they don't fit on the back. So I'm just going to pre-wet these. I'm wondering what these will be like for backgrounds, because the pencils I cannot manage to get a really nice smooth background, so that was my idea with these paints, to just use them as backgrounds. So I've got my clean water, a little cloth. If you can hear the dogs, they are just roaming around my feet today. So we'll start off with the yellow, and this is Sun Yellow. So they don't take long to activate at all. Just bring you in ever so closer. Yeah, they don't take long to activate. Beautiful. Oh well, if the rest of the colours are like this, I might have to get the set 2. Does anyone know the difference in set 1 and set 2? That is beautiful. And just for testing, I'm going to let that completely dry and try and re-wet it with water. Now the only thing is there's a lot of pigment here, so I think if I re-wet it here it'll move around, but this area won't. So we'll see. So we'll go into the Mango. They are really beautiful, vibrant colours, these. Beautiful. And this is just a cheap watercolour paper that I am using these paints on today. And then we've got Poppy Red. Oh wow, look how vibrant. I might have to just bring you out just so I can get the paints and everything in the shot. So I've been very lucky this morning that my mother-in-law has took my daughter for a walk because the nursery is closed. So I've got my son home from school and now my daughter. So yeah, I'm using this half an hour, this very important half an hour, just to film. So this colour is Dark Plum. Oh, beautiful. This reminds me, you know, like if you was doing like a vintage page, like a vintage background, like an old-fashioned background. I think that would be beautiful, that shade. And then we've got the Mid Ultramarine. I did my swatches a little bit big, didn't I? I got a little carried away. And then we've got the Bright Blue. Absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to use these in a book. Now I did have a little tiny tester of the Graphitint last night, and I'll show you the page that I started just to get an idea, and I wanted to see what it looked like completely dry and show on camera as well. So when we come to that I will show you. And then we've got Teal Green, which in the pan that does not look teal. And that doesn't look teal, that to me, on the paper. So I think that name is a bit misleading. It's a beautiful green nonetheless, but that is definitely not on the teal side, I don't think. That looks more like a forest green colour. And then we've got Racing Green, which is super duper dark. So you can blend these out to really light tones. We have got Kiwi, which on the swatch chart it looks more of a yellowy green, and in the pan it definitely looks like a green, but as you blend in the colour I see it looks like green, and it looks like it's blending out to almost a yellow. That's very interesting. And then we've got Burnt Yellow Ochre, which is a lovely earth tone. I wonder whether you could use these for skin tones. And then we've got Natural Brown. I'll have to do these a tiny bit smaller. I definitely got a bit carried away there, didn't I? Blend that out a little bit more. And then the very last one is Ink Black. We can just about fit down here. So that should blend out to a nice grey. And it does. So let's put these to one side. I'm going to have to get a separate piece of paper. But so far, so good. So we'll put these just here. I've got a separate piece of paper for the Graphitint. So I'll move these to one side. And here's the Graphitint. Now I'll show you this picture that I did start last night, and I only used 3 or 4 of the shades. Now when these were going down, at first I thought it was the paintbrush. I had some sort of like metallic watercolour in the paintbrush, and I thought I can't do, because this is a brand new brush. Because when I was putting the colour down, it had tiny little pigments, like little mica sparkles, but now that it's completely dry, that has disappeared. But I've just tried blending. This colour here was Port, and I blended it into Jupiter. And then this one is just the Graphite grey, but I've added more of the paint at the top and blended it to a darker one. And then this one here was the green grey, and the same thing. So I just wanted to test them out and show it on camera, because I've not used a medium like this before. I mean, the paints are paints, and they're very similar to the Inktense pencils, but Graphitint paints, I thought I might have been a little bit different. So I'm glad that I did test it beforehand, but in hindsight I should have done this before I started talking about that Hannah Carlson page. Right, so we've got Autumn Brown at the top. Might have to give them a second. So they do activate just as quick as the Inktense paints as well. Let's add a little bit more there. Let's pull that colour. That'd be really nice. Obviously autumn leaves in the name, autumn. And then we've got, is it Russet there, which in the pan it looks green, but there it looks like a nice cream shade. So does it blend out to a cream shade? It does in fact blend out into a nice cream shade. And then we've got Meadow, which again in the pan it looks like a really dark green colour, and it goes down green and it lightens into the yellow. So I wonder if these are going to move round. I think they might do. So we've got green grey. I do know what colour this is. Like I said, I used this in the book. So add a little bit more water to that there. They're just very muted tones, aren't they? I think you could get a really good... I'm finding it hard to explain what I'm trying to say. Like your muted picture, like if you didn't want something so bright and bold and in your face, and you just wanted it really delicate and muted colours, I think this would be really nice with the, well, it depends what colour pencil as well would be like over the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got Slate Green, and this is a really beautiful shade. I used this one as well, I think. And then we've got Ocean Blue. Add a little bit more there. And then we've got the Steel Blue. I think we'll move it up to this side now. And then we've got Dark Indigo. Oh, I really like that. It's got tones of purple in it. Like a navy purple colour, that one. And I'm not even going to pronounce that name. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that name. This one is more of a purple. So they're like if you had a red and mixed it with grey. If you had your brown mixed it with grey, green with grey. That's what I feel like what's going on here. And then we've got Jupiter, which is this one. That's definitely more on the purple side. And then we have Port, which is more red. And then the very last one is Graphite Grey. So I'm going to leave these to completely dry. I'll work on the Inktense first and then we will come back. So I think this Inktense page is dry enough for me to do a little bit of testing. I just want to see how much I can move the colour. I've got a funny feeling towards the very start where there's a lot of pigment, it's going to move around a lot. Now I don't know if these are the same as the Inktense pencils and the blocks where it's meant to be permanent colour and it doesn't move around. I mean, the name Inktense, it probably should be, but we shall see. We shall see. I didn't keep the boxes. I chucked the boxes away, which it probably said on that, so silly me. So we'll try and activate the very end first and see what it does. So far so good, it's not activating with water. And I've got a funny feeling, yeah, see, because there's a lot more pigment on this side, it does in fact still activate. Maybe if you let it dry for 24 hours, it wouldn't activate as much as that did. Let's try this one. So I'm getting a tiny little bit of movement here, but not a lot. But that side has been drying longer. And then we'll try the end bit, the green. See, that does activate. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. So how dry are these? These are still quite damp, but if I work on the top ones, I think we'll be okay. So the same thing. See, that's not activating. But we'll go for the top bit and I think it will. Yeah, there you go. And I'm wondering whether I can catch on camera. Yeah, right. It's going to be so difficult for me to catch this on camera. But it's sort of like glistening. It's going to be really difficult because the camera probably won't want to focus. But there's pigment moving around there, and that's what I thought would be like a metallic. And now that it's wet, it does look metallic, but it does dry completely matte. So it must just be the pigments that are in it that's making it do that. Hello Alexa. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, but that is the Derwent paint sets. So we've got the Inktense paint pans. So you will see these in upcoming videos. I will use them in videos. I'm definitely more excited about this, even though that they really do pack a punch and they're really bold colours. I have got things that are similar, not identical, that are similar to this. But I need to do more testing. I'm more excited about these because of the muted colours. I think I'll be able to pull off, like this picture, this Hannah Carlson picture. I think that's going to turn out beautiful with all these muted shades. And if I just show you one that's more bold, like these ones, they really are, you know, in your face colours, where I think this is going to be more delicate. And if I use some white gel pen as well, and then the background, I think if I use like the slate green in the background, I blend it out into nothing, I think it's going to look beautiful on that. But yeah, we shall see. But thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new and give me a big thumbs up. And I'm going to get more testing now, done more testing if I've got time. I will see you in the next one. Bye.